Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here today. My name is Steve Murray. I'm with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Our guest speaker today is Dave Pimper, and Dave is going to talk about Retirement Boss Radio. For those of you that don't know Dave, Dave has 41 plus years of experience in the business, about 558 public seminars, excluding the one that got canceled here last night because of inclement weather. First one ever, he said, for him. And he also he has a lot of experience in the realm of radio, about 30 years or so in the realm of radio, everything from an hour-long live show to Retirement Boss Radio now, which is a hour-long pre-recorded show. He's done 10-minute snippets. He's done 30-second commercials, and he's also done kind of an into the market report. So a lot of experience in radio. He knows what works and what doesn't work. And for about the last 3.5 years, he has been using Retirement Boss Radio. He developed that program, put everything together, and he is now making it available over the last year and a half to our producers in the field that may want to put themselves on radio in their area. So it's a full service, everything you need to know package about radios, including the show notes, including doing the negotiations through a third party on the radio time and free airtime and commercials on your behalf, as well as the training that's needed around some of the particular subject matter, which might include Social Security, in-service non-hardship withdrawals, Roth conversion, some of the things that he talks about on radio on a fairly regular basis. So really a full-on training, everything that you need to be in radio. At some point during the course of our webinar today, there'll be a poll that will come up, and that poll will ask you, hey, are you interested in radio? What I will say to you, and I'll mention it again as we get closer to that poll, if you have interest in radio, and depending on where you are, we are very right now biased towards helping folks get into the radio business here at IAM. So we're going to do everything we can to make that as easy, and that could include little financial assistance for you as well. So keep that in mind as you're evaluating what you might be thinking of as far as Retirement Boss Radio. And please don't be intimidated by radio. If it's available in your area and it's something that you have interest in doing, I think you'll be pleased and surprised by how easy it can be. And it might take you a month, it might take you 3 or 4 radio shows to get comfortable, but that could really lead to years and years of good radio success. So it might be a great time to dive in. Let me give you all kind of some things that we do here at IAMS to help you grow your business. I always like to start off with this because almost always on the webinars, we have some folks that have just joined us or thinking about joining us. So before you on the screen are some things that we do here at IAMS, and one of them in this case at the 750 level has to do with Retirement Boss Radio and helping you through the process for your first 8 recorded shows. There's other things here as well, and things that we do at other levels. What I would say in general about the new producer builders, there's something that we can do to help you grow your business, and we put that on steroids based on a fast start with us. We're going to do that. So if it's not on this list and something that you think might be of interest or something you have tried that you know already works for you, we're certainly open to discussing that with you as well. So don't be limited by what you see on the screen there before you, but if you want more information on our new producer bonus opportunities, I want you to call your sales director and go through them with them in detail. Here's a couple things. These are ongoing programs. One is our Referred Producer Money program. We have built our business, like many of you, we built our business since 1986, and much of that has been on referrals from folks that have done business with us and have recommended a colleague. So about 15 years ago, we started rewarding those referrals with a bonus, and that bonus is ongoing. So if you refer somebody and they do business with us and they continue to do business with us, you're going to get a bonus based on actual business that they do. That's not money out of their pocket. That's money directly into your pocket based on your referral. Get to be some pretty big checks. I will tell you that some of the biggest checks that we send out are actually RPM checks. Market reimbursement, another great program that we had. Again, it's a fairly simple program. You do business with IAMS, money goes in your market reimbursement account. You spend money on growing your business, and we'll match that spend dollar for dollar. So basically doubles the value of your marketing dollars. So really good program. Firelight is the EAP platform that many carriers now use on the annuity side. It's easily the most common one. What we did was we put a single sign-on on our website, so all the carriers that we do business with, that you do business with, you can access through our website. You do have to register, which by golly is about a 2-minute process. What you do is you go to our website and register for Firelight by putting in your name and your email address. And then what we do there is we just check and make sure that you're appointed with us. Simple progress, simple program. And if everything checks out, then within about 10 minutes, you can access all of the carrier's eApp solutions via our website. There's a lot of good things about that. I know a lot of times if you're doing business with 2 carriers on one client, it's instead of hopping back and forth between websites and having to put that information completely in twice, which many of you know is it now, you can just go into our website, do the application with carrier number 1, and then do a cut and paste of much of that information over to carrier number 2. It really makes your life a lot easier. Most of our guys and gals right now are doing their applications via Firelight, via eApp. I would encourage you, if you haven't, and I know the first one can be a little daunting and maybe the second one still a little daunting, but after that, you're going to be really happy with the results, not just in terms of your time savings and the professionalism of your approach, but also the ease and quickness with which carriers now begin to process your business. It will save you 2 to 3 to 4 days at a minimum on the front end of that business. Plus, you've got the right forms and you've got everything completed. So a lot of good reasons to do e-apps. If you're not doing them, I would encourage you to do so. We've got a great advertising team here at IAMS. Call your sales director and say, hey, what can your advertising team do for me? There's a lot of stuff. They can put your name and logo on a lot of flyers that can really kind of increase the professionalism of the way that your business looks when you send things out. They can get your website set up. They can help you with Facebook. There's 1,000 things that they can do to help build your image locally. So, and your sales director is going to be your best outlet for that information. So give them a call. Retirement Analyzer, I'd like to keep this on all of my intro slides. This is a really nice program that we make available to our producers at our expense, and it helps them help their clients find the way to their path to retirement, which increases the value of your relationship with them, to them. And so I hope you take a look at this, get with Marcus and get with Justin. And if you haven't looked at Retirement Analyzer, take a peek at it. If you're not doing business with us yet, but you're thinking about it, let them know that, and you get a free 30-day look at this. This could influence your desire to do business through IAMS. I know that. But if you are doing business with us, we make this available to you at no cost. All I'm going to ask you at this point is, if you get in, you're using Retirement Analyzer, or maybe you're looking at it, and then you decide, hey, probably won't use this, please let your sales director know so that we can cancel that subscription and save that monthly fee. And again, Marcus at IAMSinc.com, Justin at IAMSinc.com would be the 2 email addresses, or just call in, ask your sales director to put you in touch with them. I want to make sure that you're all aware of the Top Producers Summit that is coming up here at, we're going to go down to the Sanctuary at Kiowa Island. It's in South Carolina, right on the beach. Beautiful. We're going to be down there in mid to late April of 24. We've got 12 months to qualify yet. It's for you and your guests. It takes 4.5 million points. And if you look at how you accumulate points with us, it's dollar per dollar on your annuity premium. I think we give you about $11 or 11 points for every dollar of target premium, about 1.5 points for every dollar of single premium. All of your business, whether it's a med sup, long-term care, everything accumulates points towards, with all of our carriers, accumulates points towards our Top Producers Summit. So keep that in mind, look around, see what we can help you with. We'd love to have you and your guest join us down there. For our top 20, there's going to be an extra few days that we'll spend at a place that I've been to Kiowa Island. Great spot. You see the golfer there. I think they have a couple of golf courses on property, including one that is PGA. They do a PGA tournament on, but that's not all that they do at Kiowa. I was there, beautiful beaches, as I've mentioned, a lot of things to do in that area that are beach related, and just a beautiful historic area of the country as well. So hope you and your guests can join us. The hotel itself is truly, grand, old world luxury, and really nice hotel. Right, as I said, most of the rooms are going to look out at a beautiful beach. So love to have you join us there. Look forward to having you and your guests join us there. So now let's talk. Oops, I forgot. So we're putting these back in. I'm going to put this poll up really quick, and if you have a chance to give me a yay or nay, I would appreciate it. So we are now back in full academy rotation right now. So we'll probably have 4 or 5 of these this year. We'll do some that are just life-based. We'll do some here in Omaha. We'll do some in conjunction with the carrier, but all of them will include great sales idea and marketing. Really, they're all sales and marketing based. We'll talk a little bit about product here and there, but mostly we're going to talk about sales opportunities and marketing opportunities to help you grow your business. You're going to hear from top producers what works for them. You'll hear from the IAMS folks, some of the programs that we know have worked for our top producers in the field. So really beneficial for you. If you have interest in joining us at an academy, what you need to do is let us know that, and then we'll send you out a registration form. That registration form then puts you basically among those that are invited to one of our academies. So we'll find, the first one I think is like late April. We'll invite you to that one if it works for your schedule. If not, I think we've got one coming up in May. We have one coming up in late June. We have one coming up in October or late September, and one coming up in mid-October. So plenty of opportunities to fit within your schedule. We take care of your expenses, so you don't have to worry about your travel expenses, your hotel, meals. We'll take care of all that while you're here. Most of them you're going to be out of your office for 3 days, usually a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Some are 2-day events. I think a couple of them are 2-day events. The ones that's specific to life insurance are a little bit shorter, a little bit more high intensity on life insurance. So if you have interest in joining us for Academy, simply hit no, and by all means, don't be afraid to hit no on that. Or if you're interested in joining us, say yes, but don't be afraid to hit a no. There's no shortage of obviously people interested in joining us on those. Okay, I'm going to close that poll out. A few of you did not vote. We're going to assume that means no interest and close that poll out. Thank you for those of you that did let us know interest or no interest. So now we're going to talk with Dave Pimper. When I introduced Dave earlier, a lot of experience in radio. So a really good opportunity for you if you have some interest in getting on radio in your local area. There's some parameters that we need to work with, and Dave will walk you around those here and give you the ins and outs of how Retirement Boss Radio works. Dave, are you with us this morning?
Absolutely. How are you doing, Steve?
Very well. Thank you for taking some time out. I know you've got appointments upon appointments here over the first part of the year, so that's really good for you, but it's also really good for us that you take some time out of your schedule to join us. So yeah. I'm going to give you the controls here, and let's talk about Retirement Boss Radio.
Yeah, the nice thing about this for everybody, happy Friday to you. I'm Dave Pimper. I coach and produce, and my coaching is all done through IAMS. So we got kind of some neat marketing tools in radio marketing. Being a radio host is one of those. This is a 10-minute webinar. So this is not from here on out. There's 10, 12 minutes. We'll be done by maybe 25 after. And then we'll answer any questions that there is. But if you've never thought about radio marketing, I'm not talking about a 30-second or minute radio ad. I'm talking about being on for an hour, talking about financial planning, different financial planning in retirement planning areas, albeit the name Retirement Boss Radio, take charge of your money. What happens is that that's a trademark. We're actually going out throughout the United States and placing agents, placing advisors, on different cities. So if you have a city that's 100,000 population or more, you could be a candidate for this. If you have any questions, certainly type them in, and I'll be more than happy to go in and answer those for you. So here we go. You got to ask yourself, why radio? And the short answer is because it works. It works for getting appointments. One of the things is that radio reaches more Americans every other week, meaning they listen to more radio than they do anything else, more than on their cell phones. That's hard to believe, but it's true. Use a personal computer, TV, etc. The average age is 61. See, I work with the pre-retired and just retired. Retirement Boss Radio is not called Retirement Boss Gen Xer. I mean, we're looking at that baby boomer crowd. So that 55 to 70, 53 to 68, 69, that's who I work with day in and day out. We do a lot of rollover business, a lot of rollover of IRAs, retirement plans in general. Radio reaches more of an upscale officer. Listener. Get a load of this: 93% of all adults in the 75,000 household income and above, they average 12 hours of listening to radio. Now, maybe for the younger person, it's more podcasts now, but tons of people listen to radio. It solidifies you as the expert much more than what seminar marketing does when you bring that briefcase in. I still like seminars. I did Social Security seminars this week. Had a really good attendance and really good outcome when it came to getting appointments. But there's no doubt a little higher caliber economic listen to radio and come in for radio appointments. And radio's hot from the news talk standpoint. Hot, hot, hot. So Rush Limbaugh's gone now. Clay and Travis, they kind of have taken over a lot of their spots they did here in Omaha, Nebraska. They're still very well listened to. Glenn Beck, King Commando, Dave Ramsey. That's all talk radio. And the reason they're on it because their advertisers are paying them tons of money to be on that show because lots of people listen. They open up radio spots on the weekend, like my show airs on KFAB, the big station, big AM talk station in Omaha, Nebraska. It airs at 12 o'clock on Sunday, 12 o'clock Sunday from 12 to 1. But there's a reason that those big names are on there, and the reason is because of their advertising. Ours is not advertising. Ours is to get the appointment. So we have some really strong offers and really good material. So let me just tell you how it works real quick. Let's say you have an interest, and I'm making this up because we don't have anybody in Denver. Person calls in from Denver, an agent, advisor, and says, look, I want to see, I'm very interested in radio with Retirement Boss Radio with insurance agency marketing and Dave Pimper. And so if that interest is there, and there is some qualifications because this is something where there's a lot of material from the broadcasting company that we get for show notes. So if you're brand new and this is your first year, I wouldn't think radio is probably the ticket. But if you've got some seasoning to you, you're pretty good at what you do. You've got you're doing some pretty good production. Okay, because there's a lot of production that's going to come in. You've got to be used to doing that kind of production. Yeah, then that could very well be a fit for you. So let's say it is. I go out to my third party media buyer buys radio and television, much more radio than television. He has over 800 shows a week that air that he's paid radio time for. Get a load of that. That's pretty incredible. And so what happens is that he will go in, reach out to because he knows every major market. So he goes out in this hypothetical example to the Denver market, finds out he knows the stations, the 1, 2, or 3 stations that would be the best ones. He's had the best success in the past, and that's what he goes in. He tries to get the right time on the radio station. Radio is about 2/3 of the cost. The cost of the radio itself is about 2/3 of the cost of Retirement Boss Radio, the recorded hour show. So what happens is in a big market like that, it might be a little bit more than a smaller market, but you might as well average all in cost $3,000-4,000 a month. $3,000-4,000 a month. But once he secures that station, he's looking at 3 things to do that. It's like real estate is location, location, location. With radio, it's the station, the time slot, the pricing. All those have to add up. They have to be in line. One can't be way out of line, or just the program's just not going to work for you, meaning it's not going to supply you with enough appointments for what you're paying for that. And we decide all that. We can help you with that. So that's the first thing. Second thing is the production company. We use as a third-party vendor, of course. They do a ton of shows. I mean, this is their expertise, and they do some television also, but they're very good at what they do. I've worked with them for nearly 4 years now. Our company has. Same co-host. And remember, it's a recorder, so they supply the show notes. I update those show notes. I change them a little bit. Yeah, I do. I do that to make it a little bit easier. And then, but we want you to stay from the bones of the show notes. So let's say nothing is in there about Medicare and you're a bigger Medicare shop. You absolutely should say something about Medicare, but don't take it where all you're talking is Medicare. If you're a long-term care shop or a life shop, disability shop, PNC shop, absolutely talk about those each time. So that's the variance. But 75% of what you do should stick with those show notes. They're never selling a product. You're never marketing. It's just ideas. You're marketing retirement planning ideas, albeit Retirement Boss Radio. Okay. They get it for an hour. They put all of your commercials for yourself in it. They normally go in and they will when the media buyer makes the deal. Normally there's 10 to 15 promo ads a week, free. I mean, they're part of the package. Those alone would cost maybe half is of what those radio cost is. So that's pretty cool to promote it because you want people to listen, and then they get it to the hour and they get it in the can and they get it to the radio station. So that production company does do a lot. The co-host is kind of the color guy, and he keeps it going. I always like having a co-host. I think it's much more interesting having a co-host than just a single person. And then thirdly, because it's recorded, when people call on in from the call to action, they call into a live call center, and this call center is very good. It's a high touch inbound call center. They are hooked up on the same calendar we are. It's electronic calendar. We fill it out every Friday. It takes about 20 minutes to fill it out. And we get it to them, and so they know that I want appointments half an hour in between each other, and there's time periods where I mark off. Like on Friday afternoon during the summer, you're not going to see me here for most afternoons on Friday because I'm golfing. So I have that blocked off. Yeah. So it's a turnkey system. It's pretty cool. It's a turnkey system. It's proven. It's turnkey. Our goal is to get 10 appointments or more a month when you're using Retirement Boss Radio. Okay? So here's like, excuse me, when the call center goes on in, gets the call sheet, yeah, this is it. KFAB, this was back in 19, but 8:30 a.m. Notes were turning. He's turning 59 soon. Hasn't settled on anyone yet for a financial advisor. He has a 401k that is seven-figured. It was actually about 970,000. Also had a question about Social Security. Social Security is very, very important to Retirement Boss Radio. It's a very hot subject. I'm fortunate that I understand Social Security. I do a lot of coaching on Social Security with advisors and agents. But if you don't know Social Security, I'm going to coach you up. There's no cost to you. IAMS pays me to coach you up. That's how I make money from coaching. And also, I'm not in your hierarchy on this type of this type of marketing. I don't want to take a cut of your commission. I get paid for coaching from IAMS you up, and then I get a little stipend, a little monthly stipend. So if you got any questions, you can ask me. I go in and critique your first couple shows, so what you're doing well, what you're doing, so forth. And there's coaching on that. What to say, how to say it, voice inflection, how to use the show notes, not to read them. I mean, we go through. There's a couple. It's depending if you have Social Security. The Social Security, it could be 3 or 4, probably 4 appointments. If you don't have Social Security, if you know it already, there might be a couple appointments, phone appointments that we have to go in and to train you on Retirement Boss Radio. But we do a lot of role playing. It's a turnkey system. If you go to www.retirementbossradio.com, retirementbossradio.com, that's our website. We have a white page there, a little background on myself. We have all my recordings, and we actually record only for a half an hour each week. We reuse a recorded show from 4 weeks before. That's kind of nice. So it isn't taking a whole hour to record it. You can record it in just a little over a half an hour. But all of our recordings are there if you'd like to listen to them. Cost, yeah, all in. Now, if you're in a big, right now I'm bidding out something on Los Angeles, so it's going to be a little different there. But the cost normally runs all in $3,000 to $4,000 a month. But the goal is to get 10 appointments or more. Okay, our location's available. I coach you. That's something that's kind of interesting than different FMOs. There's other ones that do radio but really don't have a coach that coaches you and stays with you. Only thing you got to buy is, I call it studio in a box. It's professional headphones, professional mic, and the sound box, and a little windshield buffer on your microphone. Yeah, those things cost about $250 in its entirety. That's the only upfront money that you have to go in and upfront. So remember, turnkey system pretty much does it. You know, it's a track. I'm a process kind of track person when it comes to my sales process and to my marketing process. Al Jolson, who's an old actor, says, "I'd like to do radio just like pictures leave the imperfect stuff on the cutting room floor." Well, you know what? You can. It's a recorded show. We take out all the bloopers. We take out any mistakes, anything you missaid and said, "I want that out." If it's bad enough, you can do the whole thing over again. That's the one beautiful thing about um, having something that is recorded. There's an old saying that says, "Procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop." Well, tomorrow never comes. The people who take action are the people who are the most successful. And I'd like you to take action today when it comes to talking together, seeing if radio could be something that's important for you. I'm telling you what, not everybody is fit for radio. There's a certain kind of breed of person, but the people who are successful are very successful. Go to your local radio station, whatever that major market is. Go on the weekend, find out who's on it, which insurance agents, which RIAs, or which advisors are on that. And I will tell you, almost everyone will have pretty big success. They're doing pretty darn well, and radio has been one of the reasons why. I do seminars also, and I like seminar marketing. I just did a campaign, and we had seminars this week. But radio is a unique niche. IAMS and Dave Pimper, we're fortunate to be working together, hopefully in the best interest, of our advisors. So I'm going to open up make sure if you mark yes, Drake will call you within, hopefully today, if not today, first thing on Monday morning, but probably today. And he's got my calendar, and he lines up a time with you and myself, 15, 20 minutes, just to talk about marketing, talk about radio, talk about, if you want to, about seminars or sales process, anything to do with getting in front of that person and producing more. That's where I'm trying to help you. Steve, why don't you, I know there's a couple questions here. I'm going to turn it over to you, and when we're done, we'll button this thing up.
Perfect, Dave. Thank you. The poll is launched, so appreciate if you have interest, or if you don't have interest, just let us know one way or the other. We appreciate that. It helps us to make sure that we're calling the right people and not calling the wrong people. So let us know. It's okay to put no. There's plenty of folks that have interest in Retirement Boss Radio, so don't worry about that. Dave, so a couple of questions are like, hey, I live here, so what do you talked a little bit about some of the expectations and maybe listening to the local radio station. So I know for a fact, because I've had this come up, that a couple people said, well, I can't find anybody on this radio station. And every radio station isn't appropriate for this. And every radio station in your market does not have someone that's doing that. So what radio station really should they be looking for? Then talk a little bit about pricing and a little bit about, where some areas that this could work really well.
You need a population within the listening ship of that radio station, which we do a map. My media buyer has a map of how far out it goes. But let's say Omaha, Nebraska was not in Omaha, it was Fremont, and Fremont was, out, kind of desolate. Well, Fremont's a town of 28,000. Got a county size, I saw 5 miles out of 30,000. Person calls in and wants to do Retirement Boss Radio. It'll make that advisor feel good, but they're not going to get many appointments. There's just not enough people. You need a minimum of 100,000 people listenership, to that radio station. That's what you need. And the smaller the station, normally the lesser the price. The bigger the station, the bigger the price. So we've seen all in production and call center and radio. We've seen all in for $2,500. And then we've been in major metropolitan areas, big multi-million amount of people, and we've had it where it's been $12,000 a month. But the average, 3 to 4,000. Steve, I pay a little bit more than the average because I'm on several different stations, and that's a big 50,000 watt. I mean, that they call it the blowtorch. Jim Rose does the blowtorch for radio stations in Nebraska. 50,000 watts is the biggest wattage you can have on the AM station. You can't get bigger than that. And I'm on that station. So no doubt it reaches way, way out. And I've done business with people that have been way, way out. I mean, it's very common for me to have appointments in a week's time where they're driving from 45, 50, 60 miles out. I get quite a few from Lincoln. That's 50 miles to come into Omaha to go in and to talk to me about retirement planning. So hopefully that helps that answer.
Absolutely. And the radio station that they should be looking for in their area is the talk radio station. And that's where they need to be listening to see what financial advisor, or there might be more than one of those stations, listen to a couple of them. And what are the time frames that you know are going to be most popular? If they wanted to listen in and hear somebody, what time would you tell them to listen?
Yeah, prime time is 7 until 3 a.m. on Saturday, and then it's 8 until 3 on Sunday.
And that's 7 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon, 8 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon on Sunday.
Right. Well, yeah, that's right. So Saturday to 6 o'clock is free. As a lot of people aren't up, so I don't call that prime. But 7 o'clock on Saturday, a.m. to 3, and then Sunday, normally 8 until 2. Those are probably the most prime. Can it work? And I've had times that were not prime that brought in some business, but long term, that's kind of the prime time. I'll tell you, a lot of times people say, you know what, I'm going to do it through drive time coming on home. Well, you can do that, and they'll charge you a lot of money, but it doesn't for talk radio and writing down phone numbers, because this is how they call us. It doesn't work nearly as well as the leisure of Saturday and Sunday.
And you've had some people that have gotten into their area, maybe not at the most prime of times, with the idea that, hey, once, kind of work your way into the prime time slot. You've had that happen a couple times now, haven't you?
I have. There's up in the North Midwest, in that northern hinterland, it's a great station in this town's a little over 1 million people. And there's really only one station. We couldn't get on it. So we actually did an ESPN sports station, and we did get some business from it. We did get some calls, but it took us about 6 months. We had right of refusal for the first shot. And I mean, he's got a 9 o'clock time on Saturday, got 5 appointments last week, 4 appointments the week before. I mean, he's cooking with gas. Do they still say that expression, Steve? Cooking with gas?
Yeah, except in California. Cooking with electricity.
Yeah, cooking electricity. Yeah, cooking with electricity. I love that. Yeah. But you know what? I mean, we want to give you the very best, and you know what? We can say, hey, here. But you know what? That the cost he was paying for the other station was small. The one he is now is larger, but he's getting many more appointments. So the media buyer and myself, we can really help you with that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Jared is years and years of experience. He knows what works and what doesn't work, and I know he's been able to negotiate some pretty good contracts that included, a little 30-second spot advertising of your show, which I'm sure can help a little bit. So that's really good. And obviously, if you are someone that is, maybe not able to get that prime time, that's going to be a little bit cheaper, and it gives you a chance. I mean, your first radio show is not going to be your best one. I mean, you and I both know that. How many radio shows, in your experience, Dave, what do you think it takes in order to kind of get to a smooth and easy kind of cadence and a nice radio show? Is it 2, 3, 4, 5 radio shows? What's it take usually?
Yeah, it's going to be different for different people. And I practiced a lot, and I had done radio for many years before. I didn't have trouble with the show. I had to change the offers around a little bit for me. I had to do some just different things, but I would say 3, 4 shows.
3, 4 shows in
3,
general.
4 hour shows. Yeah, 3, 4 shows in general. When you go do a seminar, you can do a one and done in have business right then, and that's not radio. Radio takes time for people to listen. The better you are, the more people that listen. It's like anything. It's like a it's like some kind of um, you know show on television. That's a weekly show. You watch it once, you like it. What do? You tune in for the next week. Then you really like it. What do? You schedule everything around. You're not going to schedule anything right then because you're watching that. That's how it gets with radio a little bit too. I mean, I have people that I do business with that say they've listened to me for years. They've never called in, but they said finally we feel like we know you, Dave. So it's a little bit slower to get going, and then it builds and builds and builds. So if you don't have the pocketbook to go out at least 3-4 months, so if it costs $3,000, if you don't have, 9, 10, 11, $12,000, then it's pretty tough because you can't just be on for a month and get right off. I mean, by contract, you can get out within 30 days. That's how we set up those contracts, that you can get out at any time within 30 days. But if you can go 3-4 months, whether that initial nobody knows you've heard of you, yeah, I think you'll do pretty darn good. With the new show that with I was talking about this fellow as you from Curtis, you know him. I mean, and
Sure.
he got the new show, and I mean, instantly we were popping appointments. I mean,
Yeah.
right away. So it depends on the certainly depends on the station that you have.
You bet. Well, there's no doubt that you get this tertiary benefit of name recognition and local celebrity that can help you in all parts of your business. It's a lot easier to say to a friend, hey, you mentioned to me that you need a little bit of help, or you're not happy with what's going on with your money situation. I've got a good advisor. His name is Dave Pimper, and by the way, you can listen to him if you want. He's on the radio on Saturday. I think that makes people feel a lot more comfortable doing a referral. And there's good business via referrals. And
Well,
plus,
it does, and you know what?
go ahead.
Yeah, just real quick, but it does put you kind of on a pedestal, whether you deserve it or not. I mean, it kind of gives you that celebrity status that, when I did my seminar on Tuesday night, I said, hey, you know what? If you want to listen to more of what I have to say, not to Social Security, but in Roth conversions and in service non-hardship withdrawals and with retirement income planning, and I mean I do all that on Retirement Boss Radio on KFAB. It's on at 12 o'clock. Why don't you tune in? I think you'd really enjoy, and you'll pick up. It gives you credibility, doesn't it, to kind of cross pollinate the marketing efforts.
You bet. Yeah, it really is one of those things that if a guy wants to widen and solid up his foundation, radio can really do that. And I said guys, I mean guys and gals. It's a great way to kind of build up the foundation. The day before you were on this morning, I mentioned to the folks that here at IAMS, we've got a bias towards helping. So if you're willing to make a commitment to us in terms of what we can do together, we're willing to make a commitment to you and make sure that you've got the staying power financially to be on radio and make that work for you. So don't hesitate. If you think this might be something you want to do, don't hesitate to give us a call, set yourself up an appointment with Dave, hit yes on that poll. Let's take the first step to see, you might listen to Dave and Dave might listen to you and just say, you know what, this is not a starter. This is not something I want to do. Or you guys may have a conversation and say, this is perfect. We've been looking for someone in your area. If you're in Orlando, for instance, you should call.
Right.
There's a great station with a great open time and a great marketplace. But there are some places like that. So where it could be perfect, it can make a lot of sense. So thank you for joining us. I sent you all a chat message with the website. And also our website. So the couple of questions here regard, hey, can I get these slides? So you can listen to this broadcast on our website. Go to imzinc.com and just go to the YouTube icon and click on it, and you'll see Retirement Boss Radio show that you can listen to. So take advantage of that. Thank you all for joining us this morning. It's a Friday, and there's a lot of things you can be doing, and I appreciate you taking some time to join us here. Dave, thank you also for taking some time out of your schedule. I know even on a Friday you keep pretty busy with appointments, so I appreciate you taking a few minutes out. Let us know how we can help you. You got my number. It's 800-255-5055. Many of you put yes on the poll. You'll get a call here shortly from Brady or from Drake, and he'll get you set up with Dave. Thank you for joining us, and have a great weekend. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Bye now.